Starla Lewis is a brilliant woman who for the past 40 years has committed herself to bridging, unifying, and empowering multiculturally diverse communities. She is a two-time recipient of the Bob Marley Peace Award, a bridge builder in the Women's Hall of Fame, Teacher of the Year at Mesa College 7 times, and is one of San Diego's KPBS Local Heroes. Starla serves on the boards of San Diego Mayor's Commission on the Status of Women, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, the I Am My Sister Mentor Program, and the California Black Women's Health Project. Starla Lewis is the CEO of Celebration of Everlasting Love and Life, a human potential consultancy firm, a poet, author, mother, transformational speaker, educator, and life coach.
You say that you love me, you say that you care. You gave birth to a miracle. We were both there. Love is the deal.
She has helped thousands of people recognize their own greatness through her love, compassion, mutual respect, and understanding. Starla's most recent Women's Empowerment Workshop series focuses on cultivating self-love, building positive relationships amongst women, overcoming racism and sexism, and healing mother-daughter relationships.
So welcome back. We are really looking forward to this interview because we have the Teacher of the Year, and she's going to tell us how she became the Teacher of the Year and what that means, and she has so much more to share. Tell us, how did you become Teacher of the Year? Not once, but 7 times. What is the qualification for that?
Well, I believe that the reason students voted me Teacher of the Year was because in my class I create an environment that is welcoming, where students can feel safe, where they learn and know that their voice matters, and that I'm not the only teacher in the room, that they're teachers too, and that if they hold back, we all miss out.
That's amazing.
Wow, that's such a gift. So what I hear is that you really give your students a voice. They know they matter, they know what they have inside of them matters to be spoken and to be heard, and you honor them as individuals when they come to your class. Is that right?
Absolutely. And I also let them know that I have a very low tolerance for boredom. So I believe in edutainment, that education is supposed to be fun. I believe that we all want to learn and that we all want to know. And then somehow K through 12, some of us got turned off. And so I want to turn them back on. I also want them to see themselves in one another. I say the only goal that I have for you is that you're able to see yourself in every human being that you meet. And so it starts to break down the walls. Absolutely.
And what age group do you work with?
I mostly work with college students. So I was teaching basically 14-year-olds through 85-year-olds. I'm blessed because I'm in the community college and we have a huge age range.
And you've always been here in San Diego?
Yes, North County first, Palomar College, then City College, and then Mesa. And every now and then I pop into a university here and there, but my heart space is in the community college because it's so diverse, not only in ethnicity, but in age, in life experiences, etc.
Wow, okay, I just want to ask you about your journey and how it was that you decided to get into teaching and some of the highlights of your career, because you've been teaching for 42 years, right?
Well, yes, and I never planned to be a teacher. It was never on my radar. But my journey was sitting in my first African American Studies class and realizing that I'd been to school 12 years, had a degree, and had never heard any of this information before. And it started making me think that if I hadn't heard it, other people hadn't heard it, which meant teachers can't teach what they don't know. People can't like who they don't know, even themselves. And so my original journey was I thought, to teach African American studies and to help America save itself from self-destruction, because I thought the myths, the lies, and the stereotypes that we interact with each other are part of the reasons globally we don't see ourselves in one another. And then I thought, not only do I want to teach that, but I started thinking back to my youth, in which I realized that the people who were mean to me, unkind to me, were the people who didn't like themselves. And so I remember being 4 years old, sitting on my grandmother's mother's teacher's porch and listening to this woman who was in her 90s just talk about life And I realized that if I could have the opportunity to help people see themselves and love themselves, then the world would be a better place.
I think that is so beautiful, and I never really heard it said that way, to see yourself in others. That's so beautiful because, you know, I believe that we're all connected. I believe that we're all one and that we all really have a connection. Certainly we're all human beings on one planet, right? So, but to see yourself in another, that gives you a connection that's even stronger. I also love what you said about if you don't know yourself, how can you possibly know another, right?
Exactly.
Beautiful.
On the first day of class, I would say to my students, I teach because I love you. And then I would ask them, how many of you believe it? And only a few people would raise their hand. I said, that's okay. By the end of the semester, you'll all know that it's true. And I said, and I can say it to you because I love me. And if I can see myself in you, then I can't help but love you too.
That's so beautiful.
I love that.
I'm curious to know, Lori, what was your biggest aha during the class?
Figuring out how to say what I do in 4 to 5 words. This has been so exciting because now when I network and someone asks me what I do, I can say it so succinctly and very excited to the point that women say, I want to work with you.
Oh, wow. Talk about change. You know, I'm a change agent here, and I tell you, I was resistant, and I did move forward, and I did risk only because Charlene was so gentle and supportive for that process.
I am so excited to be able to reach so many women now, whereas before it was one-on-one, and now I can reach the masses.
The masses. Massive visibility for massive income, right?
Yes.
Would you mind just repeating that? Because that was priceless.
I tell people, including in school and out of school, that I love them. And I tell them that I can love them because I love me. And in loving me and seeing myself in them, I can automatically love them too. And I can see the best and the worst of myself in them, because part of loving yourself is embracing your whole self, not just the part that you've become fond of, but the part that you know you're still working on.
And so over time in your classes, do they begin to see each other in that way? Or is it just kind of a relationship between you and the individual students?
Well, you know, one of the big things in school is how do you create a safe environment? You know, because we've had the shootings and we've had riots and we've had all these things. Well, that's one of the ways you do that. I've never had a conflict in my classroom. My students are respectful not only to me, but to one another. I teach them how to disagree without being disagreeable. And honestly, I'm on the path I'm on right now because my students told me, Ms. Lewis, it's time for you to do this in the world. You need a bigger platform. People need to hear what you have to say. And they got tired of bringing their grandmas and their husbands and their kids to class. So they said, well, could you get out there and talk to people? And they said, well, you teach us how to use love to address every issue in our life. And I thought, well, I'd like to do that in the world because I believe love is the most powerful force in the universe. And I believe that we are love. And I believe that when we see that in ourselves, then we can't help but share that with others.
Now, I know this little book you have here. I can't wait to share this little book that you... It's really cute. And it says Sun Kisses. Tell us about the book.
Well, Sun Kisses actually is the brainchild of my children who, when they were little, said, Mom, how come we can't find books to color and play with that look like us? And so I started just drawing them pictures. Their demand was so great. I started Xeroxing pictures. Their demand was so great. I decided to create them a book. And it was at their suggestion that I create the book. I wanted them not only to see images of themselves, I wanted to see them to see themselves in other children who look different from them. And it's filled with love messages. It's in English, Spanish, and French. And there's the affirmation in the book that I'm so proud of because it came to me when I was speaking with 500 incarcerated youth. And the affirmation is really what I live by. And it's, you're brilliant, you're powerful, you're limitless, and you're love. I believe that every last one of us is born with a light to shine. And that light is our gifts and our talents. And it's incomparable. So you don't have to compare yourself to anyone else. You just do you, as my grandson would say. He says, do you. And so my gift of sun kisses to children is to get them to learn early what many of us learned later.
The intent of this book is to really help broaden a child's perspective and help them to embrace multiple ethnicities and to get some really good affirmations as they're doing it. Is that right?
Absolutely. And to see themselves. The beauty of a coloring book is that you can make the complexions whatever complexion you want. You can make the hair color whatever hair color you want. Because we live in a society that programs that this is beautiful. And it's a very narrow pocket. And so all of our children, boys and girls, are suffering from, I don't look like this, whatever this happens to be at the moment. And I want them to know they're divine originals and that they're not supposed to look like each other, that they're supposed to see themselves in each other and love what they have and what they bring to the experience.
I have to say, I'm sorry, divine original. That's new language for me, and I love it.
You know, we ask our children, what do you want to be? But we never ask them, who are you? And really, in embracing who we are, that allows us to be our authentic self in the world. How much easier it is to love your authentic self than the self you make up and the self you create and the self you pretend to be, you know? And so that's part of the work that I do. I believe that the essence of my being and the essence of my work is love. And I believe that when people see themselves, they love themselves because they really are beautiful and brilliant and powerful and limitless. And I believe that when we allow ourselves to be the essence of ourselves, we begin to tap into our purpose, our reason for being. Why am I here? I'm real clear, I'm here to teach love. I wasn't that clear as I was doing it, but when I look back at my journey, that's all I've ever done.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. That's so beautiful.
That's amazing.
I just want to say, just love yourselves. It's not as hard as people make it. There is a key to loving, and it's called forgiving. You forgive you, and it makes it easy to forgive others.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll be right back.